Live from the Connections Studio Suites, it's Connections. Connections is relationship radio.
Welcome to Connections on News Radio 93.1 WFLA, still on AM 540, and of course all over iHeart's radio app. Like jam on toast, baby. I am Melissa Fox. This is Connection Show. Hi, Lizzie said what?
That's me, boy.
What? We got Pornstar Pete back in his chair.
Pissed off.
Oh, don't be angry.
So angry.
All right. And Dr. David Klein, our main man.
Turn your head and cough.
Say my name, bitch. It's all good. Dr. Dave Klein from Stages of Life Medical Institute. Check out suffernomore.com and also stagesofliferadio.com. If you can't get enough of this guy talking 24/7, it's there for you, man.
Yeah,
I've heard.
Makes me sick.
Oh, no.
I listen to him in my sleep.
Yeah, me too. I'm Melissa Fox, and along with this merry gang of relationship radio studs and studettes, we're going to talk about some stuff tonight. And tonight, in particular, I decided, because Lizzie was like, she sent me this text, she's like, let's talk about road rage. Do you beat them up or give them a hug? I mean, what was that? Lizzie, what was that? What happened?
What do you mean?
What you doing?
I'm trying to turn Dr. Dave
On?
Oh, he's
Yeah,
on.
You know what it takes.
I hear talking and laughing. Where
Yeah,
There we go.
Okay.
Where's the baby oil? That usually helps.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
All right, so Lizzie, seriously, what was that all about? Road rage? Beat him, yell at him, or hug him, or what was that?
Yeah, it's anger, you know. Should you hug him? Should you love him? Should you beat him? I mean, what should you do?
Shoot him.
It's circumstantial.
Go to jail.
It is, sir. It does. I think it's for each individual circumstance demands a separate and definitely hearty answer. Because not... All right, look, everyone gets mad from time... Dr. Dave, you're the only person I can think of in this room that I don't know would actually get angry.
I never get angry.
Do you believe that?
I do.
See? Me too.
It doesn't seem like he has much to be angry about.
So much of an even-keeled guy that I'm not feeling any, like, oh my...
Well, I had a guy kick me in the chest one time in my office because I didn't go in there fast enough. So he threw a karate sidekick at me.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Nice. And did that make you mad?
No. So I turned away from him, and he hit my coffee mug, sending it into my mom's... The gift my mom gave me. That made me angry.
That'll do it.
So but I didn't lose my temper.
Okay.
So I cornered him, grabbed him by the throat.
Oh.
And then I just, was really basically just asking for an apology.
I was going to say, was he out in 5 seconds?
So
doctor's touch trick.
So I let him go. The cops went and picked him up at his house. And the cops asked me, why didn't I kill him?
Oh, my gosh.
Because,
Why didn't you kill him?
I just wasn't trained for this. Usually when I open the door, I don't get karate kicked.
Normally the cops don't ask you why you don't kill somebody. They ask you why you did.
Well, did you find...
I saw him, it's real simple. It's the paperwork. And, so, am I going to kill somebody because he kicked me?
Yeah.
No, for damaging my mom's Indian sand painting she gave me at my medical school graduation.
Yeah.
That I would consider.
I would have done it. I would have kicked him in the head for that one.
But there's an axiom in medicine. They can always hurt you worse. So there's no point.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the deal? They can always hurt you worse.
Always hurt you worse. You hurt somebody, you never know what the collateral damage is going to be.
Okay. All right. Now, as I was saying, though, getting mad from time to time can be healthy. Really. No, it can be. I know not everyone can get a handle on their emotions like Dr. Dave and be that cool, calm cat. But experiencing uncontrolled anger, it's not always the best feeling, especially if you have to deal with the ramifications after the fact. Like, all right, who's going to repair the hole in the wall?
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah, you see, I got this where, and I think a lot of people are this way, where you can keep it together almost indefinitely. But then you have these moments where it's like it all comes crashing down because you keep it in that, a nice little belly and let it simmer for a while until you just something, triggers you off to that path.
And then you feel worse about it afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't, Dr. Dave.
Okay. Yeah,
I really
25.
enjoy my rage, and I know this is a problem. I get this. Probably a medical problem. But yeah, I enjoy that little bit of, I don't know, especially on the road when we're talking about road rage. Because I've always been told, you got to be careful. Somebody could get out of their car and shoot you.
I hate that.
And that's that.
Keep your head down.
Yeah.
So, and I have videos. I have videos of people screaming at me in the car where I took out the video and was laughing because this guy's going, "F you," and he's just screaming. I'm like, "Oh my God!" So I grabbed my camera out, and sure enough, I got everything. He's screaming at me, and I'm just smiling, grinning at him. I didn't know what else to do, right? So on that side, but I've also been so angry myself, where I ended up chasing somebody down in the car, throwing hugs at them. Those little drinks that look like grenades.
So Huggies, yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
Just went right out of my car and started throwing them under. I know it wasn't going to hurt them, but I was hoping they thought it may be grenades.
That's awesome.
But it made me feel a lot better. Afterwards, I'm like, okay, I'm so much better now because I was able to I don't know, I'm a little vengeful that way.
Yeah, but but then the first time you hurt somebody, you'll feel awful about it for a long time. So, I was 25 years old. It was the process of finishing medical school. And I was playing rugby, semi-pro. And some kid, some youngster, probably my age, was behaving very badly. Okay, he was cheap. He was giving people cheap shots. You don't do that in a rugby field because you can hurt people without having to try very hard. And he continued to do it. He was playing, I think, for Towson State University, or Towson, whatever that Towson State.
It doesn't
whatever.
matter.
I remember
tell the story. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So this guy ends up doing it one time too many, and I blew my top and broke his femur in half.
Oh, jeez.
The femur?
Yeah, that's the upper part of the leg.
Yeah.
The thigh broke his thigh in half.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Kind of impressive, though.
Well, it was pretty cool. And then I said it for him. Because I felt so bad about it.
I'll break you and I'll fix you.
That I said it.
That means I can break you again.
Splinted it, and then took him off the field in a litter.
And did you give him a bill?
No, but I shook the litter a few times just to kind of remind him that he was bad.
Come on. You're like, you're a jerk. Just know that I can do this.
Yeah, but I never really felt like hurting anybody ever again because I felt bad. I still feel bad about it.
Oh, all right. Okay, fair enough. Got some people watching us on our Facebook Live feed at Connection Show. Rachel says, P.S. Pete, your anger saved me.
Really?
Is that something I need to know? What do we got?
There was a situation where somebody was getting violent with her, and I just happened to be in a car nearby.
Oh, okay.
And so I got out of the car and went crazy on her ex-husband.
Oh, that's right. That was a bad,
yeah.
And so, by you doing that and going crazy on her ex-husband...
Well, she was holding her baby at the time.
I know, and she was in a really abusive situation as it was. So.
Yeah, and they were right in front of my car, and he looked like he was going to do something horrible. So
you pretty much saved her life.
So she missed the opportunity of stepping back a few paces, so you could have clipped him at the knees.
Well, that's what happened when he saw me get out. I don't think there was a word spoken. It was just, I wasn't trying to it wasn't a knockout punch. It was more like 150 until he got in his door and went. Just going
to keep straight righting you. So today I saw this video. It came out of St. Petersburg, Florida, because of course all good stories come out of Florida nowadays.
Where's this going?
And it was a McDonald's in St. Pete, and this guy leans over the counter and starts pummeling the cashier. And she's a little girl, but she hit him with at least 2-3 straight rights, like I was saying. Okay. And I will show us the video during the break when we come up here in just a moment. His rage, the reason, and I didn't know at first. I have a friend of mine, Rick Russo, who works over in that area in Tampa, and he said, let me send you the police reports and tell you what the real skinny was behind this. Any idea why this guy was so angry? Now, keep in mind, it's the first of the year now. We've had new laws that have come into play. And there are some interesting ones, especially here in the state of Florida. with that in mind, I will give you the opportunity to think about what possible law could have come into play that would make this guy at McDonald's so pissed off that he was ready to wrangle the cashier.
I got it.
Anyone?
I got it. It's the stand your ground beef rule.
No, that's good though. I like that. All right.
I thought it was because he found out it was Greyhound meat.
It's not Greyhound meat, no, Lizzie?
I would say minimum wage increase.
There is a new law that has come into play in Florida, at least over there on the West Coast, and that is no more straws of a plastic nature.
Oh.
All this guy wanted was a plastic straw, and then it got ugly.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's talk about rage when we come right back. It's Connection Show on News Radio 93.1 WFLA, iHeartRadio.
Look at us. We work like dogs, we drink, and then we work like hungover dogs.
Strong words from a strange man.
I'm thinking about having you examined for mental illness or drug use or massive head injury.
This is Connections. Broadcasting live every night at 10 Eastern.
You know, you leave now and you gotta get a nap.
This is Connection. Connect. Yeah.
Welcome back to Connections on News Radio 93.1 WFLA, ConnectionShow.com, LivingSexyRadio.com, Spreaker.com. Just for crying out loud, just search Connection Show.
Your voice sounds very familiar. You're not that gal on the morning, are you?
Yeah, I'm on Good Morning Orlando.
Yeah, well, that's it. Now that's the one I listen to every morning.
With Bud. Thank you. That's Dr. Dave Klein. He's learning the shameless plugs. He's getting it. I am Melissa Fox. Lizzie said what? How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. Porn Star Pete, good to see you in your chair, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. And our heartfelt prayers go out to Mr. Punchline, who is still recovering from traumatic brain injury.
Who beat the crap out of him?
No,
This is so crazy.
It's crazy. This is the third time he's gotten hit by a car, but this was bad.
But you remember, what was it, about 3, maybe 4 months ago, whenever he got hit by a car, but he was still able to come in.
He thought about looking both ways before he goes?
Well, he got hit again.
This one's just down off of State Road 434, right there at the Wekiva Springs area, a little further down.
Oh, did they catch the guy that did it?
Yeah. The lights were out, and so these two cars, I guess, decided they were going to go at least 40 miles an hour and kind of race through this lights out, no traffic lights, and there's Mr. Punchline. So, 40 miles an hour, and, he did a little pavement bounce with his head.
I'm not saying this to be funny or cruel or anything, but are you sure he ain't trying?
I asked his wife, I'm like, was he suicidal that day? Because you just don't know
you
about
just
Mr.
Punchline. Don't walk out in the middle of the street.
Okay, it was 6:30 in the morning, it was still dark, and these guys were taking advantage of the lights being down because of all the construction in the area they've been doing with our Ultimate I-4 project, the big highway deal. So anyway, our thoughts go out to him. He's in rehab. He will be in more rehab. They're moving him soon.
Wow.
He's been learning to re-speak and walk, and he's very frustrated here and there, but things are not as fuzzy as they have been. So he's coming back. But yeah, it was quite a mess.
Was he wearing his helmet?
Yeah, he wears a helmet when he walks across the street. But he should, but he doesn't. No, he wasn't wearing his helmet.
Well, no. Back in the days when he rode the short bus, he had to wear that helmet.
Yeah, I know. But, after a while, you see how big his head is? Yeah.
They especially make that helmet.
Right. That's Dr. David Klein from Stages of Life Medical Institute right here on 434 in Longwood, Raymond Avenue, up that way. You know the area.
The other side of I-4, the safe side of I-4.
Right across from the Four Rivers Steakhouse.
He has a lot of Twitter enemies, too. I'm wondering if that is something.
Punch? It could be.
A lot of celebrities he's always pissing off.
Yeah, again, Mr. Punchline has some anger issues, I think. And again, it's healthy every once in a while to get mad, but experiencing uncontrolled anger is not the best feeling, especially when you have to deal with the ramifications. You might want to consider whether or not you have an anger problem. Because normal anger and an anger problem are totally different things, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
I'm very curious on the subject, actually. When you guys brought this up, I'm like, this is hitting home because, with the holidays, I've noticed that, a little more rage. Mm-hmm. I've also noticed that I feel like I'm going on this fine line of rage and numbness.
Oh, that's a bad sign.
Yeah, like I'm almost like getting numb to the point where it's like.
Well, when you start hoarding duct tape.
That's scaring me right there, Dave.
Well, is there a difference between having an anger issue and just being angry? Because I used to, before I decided to let things go for 2015, was just the drop of the hat. Like, I could visually see me just slicing somebody, slicing them.
I will.
Because they would piss me off
For
so much.
2015? I'm having a problem right now because I just lived through 2016, 17, and 18. What did I miss?
No, you know what I'm saying? No, I would get so angry, but that was most of my life. I would get so angry that I could literally see I could take somebody out and wouldn't have thought twice about it, but I never did.
All right.
And so is that an anger issue?
Yeah,
is that rage?
Well, it's not unhealthy.
You need to drink more.
It's definitely a symptom of what could be considered as temper issues. Is envisioning killing people. I mean, I've had this where it's always like getting behind them and twisting their.
My psychiatrist asks me all the time.
I don't know why.
That's too much work.
She used to ask me, the 3 questions you have to ask, I guess it is. Are you familiar with the 3 questions?
Do you have insurance? That's the first
No. Do you have any living relatives that we can bill in case you die?
Yeah.
Okay, no, not those ones. Are you eating? Are you sleeping? Any thoughts of suicide? Okay, and I'm like, really? Me? And then she looks at me and she goes, any thoughts of killing anyone else? I'm like, okay, now we can talk.
You first.
But no, suicide, no. But killing other people, sure. I think we all, every once in a while, we're like, but there are healthy feelings of anger, and there are, which is instinctive. It's kind of physiological, a reaction that we have. And there's also an inner signal. Sometimes it comes out that, something might be wrong.
Well, when I notice I do it at like weird times, like during football games. Green Bay playing against Seattle or something like that, and Russell Wilson. I can't stand the guy, and I'm just like, I wish somebody would just shiv him. And then I'm thinking about it later. I'm like,
you gotta be careful. Yeah.
I can't believe I actually just said that. Put that out in the universe. Like
well, it happens. You put it out.
It's just a game, right?
Right.
It is just a game. You're right about that. My God, sir.
But I do hope he, twists an ankle or something during the playoffs.
All right. So unhealthy anger. Let's talk about that for a second, because there's a lot of unhealthy things. Rage, as we were talking about tonight. Also passive aggressiveness, and frankly, neither one of those are going to do you any favors. Being that unhealthy anger, it shows up in a lot of different ways. Again, like the rage or passive aggressiveness, but it also comes out as resentment. Anyone ever resent you, Dr. Klein?
I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? I mean, I go through the day, man, I probably evoke way too many emotions from way too many people.
That's what I was thinking.
I even have old friends of mine that I'll run into them, they'll go, wow, you're still alive.
It's like I swear I've killed you 1,000,000 times.
Yeah.
All right, but you've got your resentment. Yet. You've got judgment. Again, rage comes out in a lot of different ways. Manipulation and also verbal or physical abuse. But you shouldn't be alarmed if you experience one or more of those anger behaviors. Okay? Anger problems are a matter of the degree, the duration, the consequences. All right?
Severity.
So, I mean, it's fine. People get frustrated. People get angry. But it's what happens and how, when you start to venture into an unhealthy zone, that's when you got to worry. That's when you might actually have a problem. Dr. Dave, you ever heard of being passive-aggressive?
Oh, you think?
No.
Anybody have any female employees?
Oh.
I just got kicked under the table.
Yeah, I was going to say, I saw that kick, and then even Gracie Dog is like, hey, that's not cool, human.
He just bit something there. And under other circumstances, wouldn't have felt so bad.
Okay, so passive-aggressive, not your typical anger, right? I think
it's just an interesting way of being aggressive.
I think Pete,
it's classier.
Pete seems to be a little passive-aggressive.
I consider myself aggressive-passive.
Okay, fine enough. You're not loud or violent, but man, that anger certainly counts. You see, you can't be passive aggressive without feeling angry. I really don't think you can.
Well, it's so much better just to be cool and calm, and instead of getting upset with somebody, you just simply point out, in my culture, that results in members of your family being killed before your eyes.
Do tell? Is this the German side? What is this?
Then what you do is you give them the crazy eyes.
Klein,
you sign the papers.
Okay, well, guilt is cool. Straight up aggressive, true. Okay, that's another one. But when passive aggressive comes around, a lot of times, and I can consider myself passive aggressive because I display it with sarcasm.
No.
Outright apathy. I just don't care. Or downright meanness. That's how it works right there. That's all about being passive aggressive. Looks like you're intentionally sabotaging yourself.
And Papa's got a brand new bag.
That's right. We'll be right back. It's Connection Show on News Radio 93.1 WFLA, an iHeart radio station.
Speaking of twiddling, how many freaking queers are here tonight? Oh my God! What am I, Kathy Griffin? See, I love the homos, man. That's cool. Thanks for coming out. Look at Siegfried and Fruit right over there. They are so cute. How long have you guys been going out? 2 weeks. That's 4 years in gay.
Connections. 10 to midnight. 10 to midnight. 10 to midnight. Radio and internet. Radio and internet. Radio and internet.
Welcome back to Connections. Thursday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern Time on iHeartRadio. That's 93.1 WFLA. Also, still on AM 540.
Is there still an AM?
It's still an AM. Yeah, we're on both FM and AM. Thank you. That's Dr. Dave. He's a menace. He's really not a menace. Lizzie, how you doing over there? All
I'm
right?
doing good.
We're going to learn about your temper, man. We're going to learn about your temper too, Sir Pete.
Yeah, I'm still a little pissed off.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah. Cut it out. And don't you take that attitude with me. Don't you take that tone of face with me. All right. So these are things you probably wouldn't hear nowadays. Don't take that attitude with me. You might not hear that a lot. You used to probably when you were a kid, or your caregivers, your parents would say that kind of stuff. Don't you look at me like that. But nowadays, parenting, and it's out the window. We don't raise our kids. We let them raise themselves. But how your parents express their... It's true.
Yeah, I know. That's the sad part.
It is sad. You've got a new grandbaby in there. I hope it doesn't come to...
we shall see.
Well, what did your daughter put on the birth certificate?
X.
Is it an M, an F, or an X?
Well, it's an F.
Okay.
So
I'm just asking because what is it in California, Oregon, Seattle, New York, and then I guess next month New Jersey adds to the list where you can pick an
whatever
X.
gender you want.
Exactly.
Or no gender.
Or no gender.
Well, do I get financial support if I change my gender?
I don't know.
I'll do it. What do you?
Well, yeah. I mean, in case I go to prison.
Yeah. I like the way you think.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, they have better bathrooms, I hear.
Well, that's the question, though.
They do.
Where do they put the X's if they go to...
all my exes live in Texas.
No. Apparently they put all the X's
Now
in
they
Texas.
can make X prisons.
That's awesome. Okay, you goofballs.
Sorry.
All right. So look, when you're angry, stress hormones flood your body, right? That's how it works, Dave?
Yeah,
You could
pretty
explain
much,
it.
yeah.
Shuts down the rational part of your brain, the thing that actually makes you like stay and, be stupid, not stupid. So you run, you
What if
hide.
you're stupid and angry?
Boy, that's a
That
bad
happens to me a lot.
combination.
Yeah.
You could run, you could hide, you could attack, you could deny. All depends on how you were brought up. Really, that's how it starts. Okay, so if Mama Shirley said, just let it go, boy, just let it go, you'd have been growing up passive-aggressive, which is what you are.
I don't think I am.
Or aggressive-passive, whatever. But thankfully, those kind of things can heal. You can learn a few things about anger. You can find better ways of addressing your emotions. All right. First of all, suppressed anger is a volcano. I know Allie was just saying that. Cool Whip Allie was saying that on her Facebook Live feed at Connection Show. She's like, I just hold it in and then boom. Bad. So bad.
Yeah, but that can happen once a week. I mean...
But that's not good.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that?
Yeah, great. Now you got to deal with it. When's that once a week? Tonight when I get home.
No, with me, I think it goes even further. Like I can go 2-3 years, and then it's just something.
And then
I mean,
finally
I've got
that last needle dropped on the haystack.
right, and it's been several years. But in my life, yeah, I've broken my wrist from hitting things. I've broken my knuckle on the other hand from breaking things. I've got glass scars all over me from putting my hands through windows. windows.
Oh, dear. I see you anger handle well.
Yeah.
No. Dr. Dave, you ever hit anything in anger?
Nope.
Not even a wall?
No, never. Why? What's the wall done to me?
I don't know, but it
was looking at me
It'll
funny.
actually mess you up, because I hit a wall once, too.
Oh, I used to break boards with my hands and things like that.
Yeah, but was that not part of?
But part of, it was part of the fun and games of being out doing that sort of thing for fun and profit, as it turns out.
Fair enough. So,
but if you're going to break something worthy.
Okay.
Knock down
heirloom or something that means
somebody
a
else's
lot.
heirloom. It's better. Yeah. If you're going to break something meaningful.
Let me just clarify. Dr. Klein is not being helpful right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, seriously, again, suppressed anger, bad. Okay, very bad. All right.
But let's back up a second.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, why is this even an issue? Okay, because it may be something that can be dealt with a whole lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the distinct pleasure, if not honor, of treating a young kid. I mean, this girl's 14 years old. Lives on the beach side. Okay, so it took her a couple hours to get here. But grandmother, and mother dragged this kid out for me to try to figure out what I could do to help her with her anger management issues. And she'd been thrown out of school after school after school after school for cleaning people's clocks. And this was one wiry little girl, pretty little girl. But she would snap and just destroy the other kids.
And this girl was Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, there you go.
Sounds like one of my nieces.
Well, no, yeah, there you go.
Amanda Nunes.
Little cute little girl. So in any event, I looked her over, and it occurred to me, that maybe they were missing the boat. Now, who might be missing the boat? Now, the kid's 14 years old. The school counselors and/or sociologists. You get a bachelor's degree in sociology, and you can go to work diagnosing people in the school system, ruins them for the rest of their life, as they did with this girl. All right. So, and she had a psychiatrist who did equally well not figuring this out. So they had her on this and had her on that, and antidepressants were making it worse, and so on and so forth. And so I'm looking at her, I'm thinking, wait a second here. What would bipolar disorder look like in a 14-year-old? What would it look like? It would look a lot like this, wouldn't you know it? And so when you start reading about bipolar, well, it's not really an illness of adolescence, when in fact it is. There's nothing that says it turns on at the age of 30. Not necessarily.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I thought it was hormonal.
No. It's a very, very different issue. It involves dopamine, L-glycine, and glutamic acid balance. If that matters. Okay. It matters when you treat them.
Right.
Okay, but when you're the recipient, it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense or make a hell of a lot of difference. So I told her, I said, okay, fine. I said, would you let's try to figure this thing out. I don't think it'll take long to make you feel better if you follow my instructions. We have 2 rules here. I tell you what to do,
and you do
it, and we'll get along just fine. Okay, and she was really she was a mean little girl, but you could tell that she really didn't like being mean. I asked her, I said, "Do you like being mean?" No. Okay, no. I said, okay,
yes,
fine. You want me to unmean you? I can't remember exactly the way I put it. And so I started, oddly enough, on L-glutamine, which converts to glutamic acid, and a little bit, a very, very little bit of lithium, and something called lamictal or lamotrigine. Now, there's no pediatric dose of lamotrigine. All right, so I had to wing it. Okay, fine. You're 14 years old. You weigh as much as a real person anyway, an adult. So I went ahead and started treating her. And 2-3 weeks later, she came in and she was entirely changed.
Wow.
So she finished up the year of school, ended up moving on to high school for middle school, and did very, very well. Okay.
See, this is going to be another whole new conversation that we're going to have to get into, because I always thought that bipolar, ADHD, fibromyalgia.
Okay, that one.
That they were all kind of like myths.
No, fibromyalgia. The last one.
Like they're they're spoiled. They're just spoiled.
I've done entire 2, 3, 4 hour seminars on fibromyalgia.
Look, I think it's a symptom,
It is a symptom constellation, but it is not a disease state.
See.
In spite of the fact that, yes, there is an ICD-10 code for fibromyalgia, it really isn't a disease. Now, that will tick off a lot of people.
Sure.
Because there are folks out there that rely on fibromyalgia for their disability payments. There are people out there that rely on fibromyalgia for the poor me, sometimes known as support group issues. But the fact of the matter is that I can make anybody in this room or elsewhere develop fibromyalgia. And I can do it.
No.
Oh, no, it's easy.
Oh,
it involves a thumbtack and a piece of tape. Is that cheap enough? All right. You start depriving people of sleep.
Okay.
For 3, 4, 5 days. So you take the thumbtack piece of tape and tape it to their butt. Every time you roll over, it wakes you up. Okay, pretty soon you're going to become depressed.
Yeah.
Okay, now to a psychiatrist. Okay, and I'm sure there's at least one listening in.
I'm getting rage just thinking about it.
Okay, there's one out there. Okay, that fibromyalgia and chronic pain is a depression equivalent. Well, these are idiots, complete utter idiots.
Can't be pissed off and depressed.
It's a symptom.
If I could sleep.
It's a symptom of depression. Okay, so you make people depressed, and they will develop the symptoms thereof. Okay, to include fibromyalgia. So you're right, but you're not right. Okay, ADD. You're right, but you're not right. Yeah, there is such a thing as attention deficit disorder, ADHD, hyperactivity disorder, an OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder.
My son has come up to me recently and said, "I think I have ADHD."
No,
and I'm like, "No, you're just a boy."
Yeah, well, exactly. Boys do that. However, okay, these problems do exist, but they are overdiagnosed in the school system because we have a system that has basically been dumbed down to include the folks that are doing the teaching. Okay, and that's a real problem. If you've got somebody who's a behavioral issue, well, what do you want to do? Slap them with a label? Oh, and wait a second here. The more ADD kids we have in here, the more money the feds give us. Did you know that?
Yep.
Let's slap labels for fun and profit and ruin the people for the rest of their lives in the meantime. That's where I get angry.
I would too.
Yeah, so how do you fix somebody that has attention deficit disorder? Well, the first thing you do is you treat their gut. You know that? It's a gut issue. You start with a gut, they settle down.
We're going to have to talk a little more about
we can do a whole show on that.
And we will, but not tonight. We're talking about rage. Damn it,
that pisses me off.
It's all good. You'll be all right. We'll be right back. That's Dr. David Klein. SufferNoMore.com. Check him out. This is Connection Show.
And yes, it's a dog under the finger. I'm not abusing myself.
On News Radio 93.1 WFLA. Gosh, Gracie, leave him alone.
What is wrong with you people? You don't get no better show than this.
This is Connections.
Oh, the hair is standing up on the back of my knees.
Live from 10 to midnight.
What a fun bunch they are. I'd love to hang out with them.
Weeknights at 10 Eastern on the Connections Radio Network at ConnectionsShow.com.
That's right, the world is a ghetto. War will tell you about the Cisco Kid. Of course, we are a radio station, so we have the rights to play these songs. Welcome back to Connections on News Radio 93.1 WFLA and 540 AM, as well as iHeartRadio and ConnectionShow.com. Melissa Fox, Pornstar Pete, Lizzie Said What, and Dr. David Klein. Check out SufferNoMore.com for all that ails you. He's got it going on. So we're talking about anger tonight, and earlier I was saying that anger has some benefits. It really does. It can arouse you. It can purge your emotions, like sadness sometimes. Not that kind of arousal.
I'm sorry. I'm a little freaky that way.
It can
That's
help.
what I've heard.
What I'm trying to say is it can help percolate your emotions, bring them to the surface, and sometimes anger pushes out other emotions, like gets them out of your system, like sadness. It can give you a voice when you feel like you had none. I'm here! Okay.
I use it because it gives me an excuse.
Well, it can force you to take charge of your life.
Yeah.
Okay, just like Dave just said. It can also be fuel for endurance or strength. Maybe you get angry enough and you got to accomplish this goal, and you handle it, you tackle it. It can also help you quit a job, maybe, that's soul-sucking. That is it! I'm out. I'm leaving. It may inspire you to eat more ethically, vegetarianism or some crap like that. Anger can also force you maybe to get a divorce. I've had it.
Wow.
Or improve your life, especially if you're in an abusive situation, which is something we had started the show out talking about, how you saved Rachel from anger.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are ways that it can be helpful. It channels. When you channel it in a mindful, healthy way, but it can also, as I was saying earlier, be immature. Like, we might get angry at people for stealing our freedom, or when things don't go our way, or we just feel entitled. There's a lot of that going
my
on.
guy didn't get elected, therefore I am
screw you. He's not my president.
My guy has never been elected.
I know, right? So, when you open yourself
I've been
up...
dealing with this for 40 years now.
Under those weird circumstances, my friends, it helps us to feel. You got to stop, you got to feel, you got to try to understand why you're angry. Understand that anger a little bit by opening yourself up to it. Maybe understand the root of the source. My guy didn't win. If your life is fine and your happiness is still there and you realize it's your responsibility and no one else's, and then you're angry still, that's mature anger. It's anger that you use wisely.
That's what I tell people. But when it comes to this stuff, I'm like, now how has this affected your personal life? Just inquisitive.
Seriously.
Not like calling them out, but inquisitive. And most of the time, they're like, well, it hasn't. So why are you so angry?
You and I have lost more friends or Facebook friends than anybody over our political thoughts or just stirring the crap with our sticks.
I love stirring it.
Me too.
She would post something, and then she'd be getting all kinds of stuff, and then I'd post something, and I'd be getting a whole completely different kind of stuff.
I post stuff and nobody cares.
Oh, no. But this anger, almost to me, I was like, okay, great, thin yourself out. Go, whatever. And sometimes I post something that I don't necessarily even believe.
Just to stir the pot.
Right, just to thin the crowd, because it's like, well, I've got people that actually want to be on there and aren't going to go all over. I mean, it was like...
Is there anybody I haven't insulted yet?
No. It was like I went to the Citrus Bowl and saw a good game between two teams that I could care less about. I had no dog in the fight, right? So I was like, I'm going to the Citrus Bowl. It's right here in Orlando. Should I represent UCF College or the Gators, which is actually what I care more about? Mm-hmm. So people were like, UCF, Gators, UCF, because they play at the... And then someone was like, they don't play at the Citrus Bowl. And I'm like, oh, the hate. Who cares? Yeah, I just asked a question. Now, you know what? I went in Gator gear, and everyone was like, hey, yeah, it was cool. And UCF lost, so who cares? Now, at this point, finally. So, but the point is, people are idiots. Somebody writes one little thing, and then you go, they didn't do that, you're stupid. And that is so mature. And most of those comments come from people who are 40 and older. It's weird.
No, I feel bad now. I've been insulted.
No, listen, seriously, Dave, a lot of people about anger, they think anger is hatred. Lizzie, you sometimes I think you get that when you were talking about that road rage, and let's talk about rage. Mm-hmm. Anger's not hate.
Okay.
Hatred comes from a total different place. It comes from a mental attachment to anger. Okay. At a certain point, look at this. The Dalai Lama put this way.
I hate that guy.
I know, he's not a nice guy. A Tibetan Buddhist put it this way, all right? Anger straight from the heart of pure compassion. In the beginning, you don't understand where the anger comes from or why it's come to be. But if you know how to embrace that with the energy of mindfulness, eventually it'll become clear to you why you became angry. And the attitude is, take care of anger. Don't suppress it or hate it or run away from it. Just breathe gently, cradle the anger in your arms with the utmost tenderness, and eventually it will release itself.
That's what I need to work on. I hold on too long.
Sounds like a pacifist to me.
Well, yeah, it's Tibetan Buddhists, monks. Anger also comes from within our conscious awareness, all right? When we choose to notice, we can step back into our conscious awareness and not be fixated in that feeling of anger itself. Not avoiding it. Actually, the different way, being compassionate, realizing that, and you do this a lot, Lizzie, too. She knows, and she'll tell other people, you don't know what's going on in that dude's life.
Well, perfect example of job number one, I had a woman call and literally ring me up one side, down the other on the phone, and she's like, why do I go to another place, and they offer all these programs, and you offer nothing for toddlers? Okay, and I explained the situation, and then she says, well, they offer knitting at this place. I go, for toddlers? That's awesome. And then she blew up on me.
That's awesome.
So I knew, so when I said that, then I knew that there was something else. Well, then by the end of like a 15-minute conversation, she did bring up that her husband had just passed. She just had back surgery. So this one was very angry. So I talked her through it and pointed everything out that this is what her device is not showing correctly, but we do have paper calendars. And so, yeah, it's always something, you have to try to understand that people are really going through a lot of stuff. And it doesn't doesn't make it okay. They blow up on you, but sometimes you just got to take a step back and realize it isn't you who's pissed them off.
Oh.
Well, and going with her, trying to, being immature about it all.
Put her on hold.
And I really felt like...
Better talk to Iris.
Actually, my coworker disconnected her before I got her, and she called back. She's like, they hung up on me. I was like,
Go ahead, Pete, what's that?
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Sorry, Pete.
No, I forgot what I was going to say now. I can't remember.
Then you turn on the lousy music. You get your choice, right? You put on the really crappy music.
No, there's no music. It goes beep.
Right. That's the worst music, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's so annoying. So assertive anger, behavioral anger, chronic anger, judgmental anger, overwhelmed anger, passive-aggressive, retaliatory, self-abusive, verbal and volatile. These are all different types of anger.
That's what I was getting. I remember now. Okay, so...
Chinese buffet of anger.
Facebook. You get on Facebook and you read all these things. Well, that's kind of what happened to me is I'd respond, and I'd think I was responding maturely, but the more I'd read it, like I'd go back and read it, I'd be like, you know what? Maybe I should just not say anything sometimes. Yeah. It's like I was such a D-bag 2 days ago. And so, but because of this, I mean, it's been quite recent, but I don't really go on a whole lot these days to really, to read. Like I'll say happy birthdays and things like that. Mm-hmm. But I have to, for my own sanity, because I start reading things, I'm like, stupid, idiot, dumb, and it's like, what am I doing?
Right.
Just hit the emoji thing.
Hating everybody.
Unlike it, dislike it.
Every emoji, vomit.
They need to come up with better emojis.
They do.
Like vomit.
Yeah, the vomit emoji is my favorite. Yeah.
You know what ticks me off are those commercials this time of the year showing the pound kitty or the pound puppy.
Oh my God.
Please send us $19.99 or we're going to electrocute the dog.
I'm going to kill you.
In the arms.
Good luck with your anger. I hope we've helped you. Dr. David Klein. Thank you, man. Check out stagesofliferadio.com. Download the app. Lizzie, always fun. Yep. Four-star Pete, glad to see you back in your chair.
Thank you.
And our prayers go out to Mr. Punchline.
Yeah, be well, Punchline.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We love you. Mean it. See you later.
Laughing time is over.
There you have it, boys. Case closed.
You've been listening to Connections. Find tonight's show and replays of our past shows on ConnectionsShow.com.